told me they would be dissolvable. He's like, you gained weight. Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. My name's Beba and I'm so happy to have you guys here today. So today we have a juicy, highly requested topic that you guys seem to be adding comments on to almost every video of mine asking this question. What happened to my nose? I know you guys are the same viewers who watched my 2 previous vlogs of my nose job in Mexico and 6 months post-op, and as you can tell from those videos, I was in such a disarray. That was, you know, when you think something that you're so insecure about is finally gonna be gone and it ends up being a bigger issue. Talk about like being sad. I don't use depression because it's like not depression, but like I was so sad. I wanted to make YouTube videos for so long, but I couldn't because every time I saw everything that was wrong with my nose that was previously not wrong before I went under the knife. So we're gonna get into all of this, all of the juicy questions, everything I have to say, and whether I recommend going to the surgeon, going to Mexico, and if you do, what questions you should have in mind and what you should ask the surgeon, or even any surgeon you're seeing in America, like United States, because it's the same thing. I mean, I could have gotten my nose done anywhere in California, Tennessee, Michigan, Minnesota, anywhere, and the same thing can happen. So it's really just finding the right surgeon for you. And without further ado, let's get into it. Okay, so I want to start off with what happened, what was wrong with my nose, why did I want to get a nose job in the first place? So growing up, I've had a rather big nose. I'll insert clips somewhere, and I was always so heavily insecure with my nose. I thought it was way too big for my face. I had a huge hump. I didn't like the way it sagged right here, or like extra skin was there. And then when I found out that your nose just grows bigger with your ears, like within time, like your ears and nose don't stop growing. They continue growing as you age. And in my head, I was like, oh my gosh, my nose is gonna look like Pinocchio. I do not wanna have a bigger nose. What is happening? But the thing was that I wanted to get it fixed, and I knew the solution to get it fixed, and that was rhinoplasty. So I've been wanting to get rhinoplasty for quite a while. At this point, I'm like in high school, and it's really expensive. It ranges from like $5,000 to $20,000, $30,000 in the United States. And I was getting quotes from doctors all over my state, which is Texas, and it was around $8,000 to $10,000 to $15,000. And when I outsourced from like other surgeons from other states, like in California, it was $15,000 to $20,000. New York was $15,000 to $20,000. And I was like, okay, if anything, Texas is in my budget, and let's see who I like their style. Years go by. Not that no one could do what I wanted to do, but I didn't like how they were performing on people. You know, like I saw like their arches or like their bridges were way too slow, or like they weren't doing the kind of style of nose that I wanted and things like that. But all the surgeons were super nice. I had several consultations with many surgeons, and they all said they could do what I wanted, but I was like, I'm not seeing the work, you know, like I don't want to go with someone who tells me they can do it and not do it, which happened. So then fast forward, I'm out of high school, I'm out of college. Also, like, you're down for a week, you're bruised up. I don't want to be bruised up right after high school. I didn't want to be bruised up or down for a while in college because like you're partying, you're studying, you're enjoying time, you're meeting people, you're going on dates, and you don't want like black eyes, you know? Like I couldn't take a couple days off of school, you know, like I couldn't. So I couldn't do it during school. Right when I graduated from college, I, boom, started looking for surgeons like crazy. And at the time, I knew a lot of girls that went to school with me who went to Mexico to get their noses done. And they looked so good. I did not even know they had a nose job. They did it during spring break or winter break and things like that, but I wanted to enjoy it. And they got it done, came back to school, and 1, I couldn't tell they had a nose job. 2, it looked so good. And so I was like, maybe the answer to my prayers is to get it in Mexico. So I've had family members get their nose done in Mexico. My boyfriend's parents were referring some surgeons that they knew of. So I was getting a whole bunch of referrals. So then I had a little, I'm gonna call it a bag of suggestions that I could choose from. And within those bag of suggestions, I did my research. I looked at their website, I had consultations, I saw what I wanted, what I didn't want, and moved forward. I ended up going with one surgeon that was highly, highly, highly recommended by everyone I worked with family members, friends, everyone. So I then messaged him on Facebook, because that's how you would do the consultations. So I would message them or like WhatsApp them or something, and I was like, hey, I want a nose job. Please have a consultation ASAP. And so I have a consultation with him and I tell him exactly what I want. I was very clear with what I didn't like with my nose and what I wanted to be fixed. Now I know a consultation, not every surgeon's gonna remember what every single person wants in a nose job in their first consultation. Whatever, I'm not expecting him to remember my wants during the first initial consultation. He tells me the price was within the budget, the price was right. And we made a date and it was a sealed deal. And so I would have to travel to Reynosa and he told me I would be getting like a driver to drive me to and from, that would be no problem. I'd have a driver to and from for all my visits and etc. I also had to give them money in cash and meet them somewhere in a city, which was already kind of weird. And once I handed over the cash in full, it was kind of hard to communicate. Now it was a little pushed back. So came the day, I go into the room, they have me undress, wear the special scrubs, whatever. At this point, I was expecting to see the doctor just to confirm what I wanted and just to verify. Like, I expected him as a professional to come to me and be like, hey, we spoke about this and that, this is how you want it, right? Okay, and then sedate me. Nope, it was, I'm in the room, someone gave me a pill saying it would relax me, and they had me sign papers, and then I knocked out. And then I woke up bloody. Like that was the thing, okay, like whatever, but it was still like how it happened. It was kind of like so fast. They told me there were papers to sign to publish photos of my nose on Instagram and social media. At the end of the day, it could have been like selling my soul to someone, so I don't know. I still don't have copies of those papers. I wake up, I'm all bloody and whatever. I mean, it's like, no, I'm not, okay. I had a little bit of blood on my cast, like it's normal, okay? I'm a naturally dramatic person, but I had a little bit of blood, you know, I wasn't feeling that good. They took really good care of me. Then they take out the IV. This time I had to pay for my own lift. So like, you know, like some things were just not right. On how like they told me that I would get a chauffeur to drive me and then I had to pay for my own person at this point. But it's fine, it's whatever. I'm on drugs. I'm happy. Like right when they're taking off my IV and I'm leaving, I asked to see the doctor because I saw my nose in the cast and it looked very, very crooked. My nose in the cast was completely in one direction. And I was starting to freak out. I was like, there's no way I'm going to have a crooked nose pointed the other way when it never pointed like that before. They kept telling me, no, don't worry, it's swollen, this happens all the time, yada, 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 whatever, right? So I listen. And they tell me to keep bandaging my nose, that it will be more, that the swelling will decrease and it'll get better, whatever. I'm super sad. I wait a week, I wait 2 weeks, I get the bandage off, I believe at 2 weeks. I take off the cast at the doctor's office. They put stitches up my nostril. Let me say that again. They put stitches that do not dissolve in here. Now, what happens when you have traumatic breakage in a body? You bleed, you scab. Your nose naturally forms mucus, and there's hairs, and they put stitches all inside of my nostrils, all inside here. How are they gonna get that out? They had to cut it out. And with that was the most agonizing pain in my life. The worst pain ever. My boyfriend was like so scared for me. The nurse was like, are you okay? And I was like, why do you guys not put soluble stitches in the most sensitive part here? And she had to go and cut everything out and pull it out. That was very painful. I had spoken to every surgeon I had spoken to, which was over 10 surgeons, all used soluble stitches, okay? And he told me he would put dissolvable stitches in my nostril. He told me they would be dissolvable and then he would use normal ones around here. That did not happen. And I was so mad. Run away from any surgeon who tells you they use non-dissolvable stitches up your nostril after a nose job. Run. You do not want to experience that pain. I never do in my life again. The stitches around here, they did hurt, not as bad as the ones in here. This felt like a breeze in the wind. A breeze in the wind compared to the stitches inside my nostrils. Whatever. Besides the point, she removes my cast. The nurse was a girl. She removes my cast that was crooked. And my nose is completely crooked. And obviously it's super, super, super swollen. I was upset. I was wanting to cry. I was so sad. I was not the happy camper. She began to retape my nose and off I went. Okay, great. I go home, months go by. Okay, now we're talking about like 6 months go by and my nose is still super crooked and the one bump in my nose that I told him I wanted out was still there. I'm like, why would you not get that? And why is my nose still crooked? And so I kept messaging them. I'm left on red. I'm left on red. I'm left on red. I get no callbacks. I'm freaking out. I'm like, I just spent thousands of dollars on a nose that I should not have. You know, like, I was so sad. I didn't want to go out to any events. I didn't want to celebrate anyone's birthday. It was holiday season. I didn't want to even film YouTube or post selfies or anything. That's very, like, sad. You know, like, I get it, it's first world problems, but when you want your insecurity to be taken away, and that's because you live your whole life with that insecurity, so you're used to it, and then it gets replaced with one that's even a bigger insecurity, that's pretty intense, like, mentally, and then, like, you don't want to go anywhere, do anything. It's kind of sad. I tell him at the 6 month mark, my nose is not it, I'm not happy, I want a refund, I'm pissed, whatever. I am not happy, but I'm still trying to be respectful and professional. They tell me to go into the office. So I make a trip. Remember, this is Mexico. I have to drive or walk or everything to go over there. I go over there with him and then he begins to explain to me that the reason why my nose is so crooked is because that's how my face is. And I was like, can you explain? He's like, well, we have to go off the measurements of your, like, the distance of your eyes to your mouth and your mouth here, and that's why your nose is crooked. I looked at him and I was like, excuse me? Are you telling me that you couldn't have told me this before I got my nose done? You told me that you would be able to give me the nose I wanted? Not only that, when I saw him, do you know what he said to me? He's like, you gained weight. Excuse me? I was like, what? He's like, yeah, like, you gained weight. And I was like, hi, how are you? How does that have to do with anything? What surgeon says that? What plastic surgeon, when I'm going to yell at him, tells me you gained weight? It's pretty ballsy if you ask me. He then tells me that he can inject filler in my nose to even it out. And I told him, I was like, why couldn't you do it correctly to the point I won't need filler? Am I gonna need filler for the rest of my life? He's like, well, there is this filler that lasts forever and whatever. I'm like, okay, like, look, I don't want some filler that's only sold in Mexico that lasts in my body. Like, no. So whatever, he gives me like regular Juvederm in my nose right here, and I feel him putting too much, but he just kept filling it in. And I moved and I was like, you're putting too much. Granted, he did. There was a big old bump. And he was like, it's swollen right now, whatever. A few weeks roll by, I'm in Cabo, trying to be happy. And every picture I take, my nose looks crooked and it has a big old bump where he put the filler. And I was like, this didn't even solve the problem. So then I'm messaging them on WhatsApp because that was the main source of communication. I'm like, hey, my nose still has the bump. And they're like, well, you need to massage it out. It'll go away, la 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 la. And I'm like, this is ridiculous. I should not have to be going through all of these things in order for me to be happy with a nose job when you messed up in the first place. And like, I had also told them the tip of my nose is asymmetrical. Like, you didn't get the part that I asked you to fix. And he's like, well, I don't touch the tip of the nose. Why didn't you tell me any of this when I told you 1,000 times exactly what I wanted? Now I'm being told my nose is crooked because my face is asymmetrical. Then I'm being told that he doesn't touch the tip of the nose when was my biggest insecurity because I had a very white tip. So I'm crying almost every night. I am so sad. I don't want to take any selfies. I don't want to go out. I don't want to do anything. It hurt to wear a mask. Like, it was just not a good point in time for me at all. Like, it was not good. And every time I lifted my head up, it was super crooked and everything. So then I began looking into videos on girls with a similar situation. And I began just doing so many things. And there's like gua sha and how to fix like things in your face. So I began to gua sha my nose. Don't quote me on that, but I began to massage my nose like heck. Like, I'm like moving it, and anytime like I had an itch in my nose would curve to the right. I would go like that. So every day I was doing that, you know? And fast forward today, it has been 1 year and around 4 months. And a lot of you guys have said that my nose is looking a lot better. And a lot of my friends and family and extended family and friends have also told me it looks a lot better because I vocalized my concerns loudly. I'm just happy how my nose looks currently compared to it did even 6 months ago. I'm not trying to say that it looks way better or completely different. I just think it looks less dramatic. It is still one of my biggest insecurities. I do want to get it fixed later on in the future, but I am hoping that within time it will get better and less severe looking, because to me it looks awful. I mean, not to put myself down, but it's just not what I wanted, and it's super crooked in my opinions. I'm not going to let it hold me back from doing things that I love or going out in public or making YouTube videos. Now I'm just going to let you guys know the massages I did on my nose just to reduce the inflammation, and I did all of these things while I was cleansing my nose with a facial cleanser. Now let's get into what I think you guys should ask a surgeon before going into surgery with him. Number 1, ask if they do dissolvable stitches inside of your nostrils, and tell them to show you the thing that they're going to put inside of your nostril, the stitch, the needle, thread, whatever it is. Ask them to show you. They're supposed to be a different color. And number 2, ask if they can do a virtual Photoshop of your nose, of the before and after. It's a special software that gives them the exact calculations and measurements of what they should do to your nose to give you the nose that you want. Number 3, make sure you look at all of the photos of their previous clients to ensure that's the surgeon that does the kind of nose you like. Because surgeons kind of have like their style. I can tell there's this one surgeon that I was gonna go with who wanted to give me like a super like Rudolph the Red-Nosed Reindeer like slope nose, and that's her style. And I can point boom, 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 exactly who got their nose done with her. Not my preference. If you like it, good for you. Looks beautiful on you, you do it. I didn't want that. So make sure your surgeon does the kind of style that you're looking for. Number 4, make sure you have open communication with the doctor. And if they do ask you to pay up front, ask if you can only give half. And then on the day of surgery, if you can give the other half. Number 5, try to see if you can contact the previous clients of theirs. If they're open reviewed on Facebook, just shoot them a message and ask how they're satisfied with their finished product of their nose job. Or you can just go on YouTube and see if anyone has done any reviews of their work. Because at the end of the day, you're the consumer and you want to make sure that the other consumers are satisfied with the product. Number 6, if you are going to Mexico and you don't live near the city and you're going to be flying over there or whatever, make sure they can have a hotel room for you, have a chauffeur, and exactly what the cost includes. There are places in Monterrey that the price of the nose job includes the hotel, chauffeur, food, like breakfast and lunch, and the nose job itself. So make sure you're getting all of that included and your medications. Be very clear, and my number 1 tip is have it all in writing. That's something that I wish I would have done, is have every single thing in writing. Number 7, if something were to go wrong with your nose, heaven forbid, I hope it doesn't go wrong for you, but if it does, ask your surgeon, hey, if I'm unhappy with my results or my results aren't what I wanted, what do you offer? Is there a refund? Do you offer to fix it for free? Do you pay the difference of if I have to go to another surgeon? Or what can we do so this does not happen? That is something I wished I would have asked, because I was then in a very uncomfortable situation where I never had asked that, and it was kind of in a weird place for me to be like, hey, you know, especially with dealing with surgeons who are very cocky, they're gonna feel like you're insulting their work because it's a form of art. So, and also just remember, follow all of the tips the surgeon's telling you and also other ones that you have found. So no drinking alcohol for a week before, don't take anything that will thin your blood, those kinds of things. Like, just keep an eye on that. And also, if you want me to do a list of like things I recommend for you to do and to take during, before and during the nose job, let me know in the comments. I'll happily redo it, because my first video on this was super bad in my opinion. I don't know how I got so many views compared to my other videos on that, but I am more than happy to do it for you. So I'm editing the video right now and I answered every question. I just didn't like say it fully, I guess. But no, I do not recommend the surgeon to. Yes, you can get surgery anywhere in the world. I do recommend for you to go to Mexico, just as I do for United States, Canada, Europe, Africa, Australia, anywhere. You might get amazing results with the best surgeon, and you might get disappointing results with the best surgeon. I mean, everyone has a different nose and a different case, and honestly, stuff happens, you know what I mean? So I do recommend going anywhere and just making sure you're very vocal. I mean, who knows? The surgeon I went to has done really good work. That's why I went with him. But it just looks like now the past few nose jobs he's done that I can see, like the most recent ones, are not that good. And I would not have known that if I didn't get surgery with him. And the people that went to him after I went got surgery with him, I found out the extremely harsh and crucial way. That's why I implore you guys to please, 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 please do your research even more in depth. Ask for more recent photos, because the photos that may be on the website or that they're showing you might not be recent, and you might not know that, because I didn't know that. So do that. This is pretty much it. I'm now just gonna show you guys my nose. I don't know if it's because I got used to how my nose looks like, but I am now content with it. I'm not satisfied, but I think it looks okay for now. So this was my experience with my nose job in Mexico. I know other people have had a way better experience than I have. Mine's not the worst either. I have heard terrible things and seen crazy things on YouTube. But remember, this can happen anywhere. It could happen with any surgeon, in any country, in any state, and in any city. So just keep in mind, and also highly recommend for you to ask your surgeon all the questions I suggested you, and as well other questions you have. It's very important to be very upfront with what you want to the person who's going to be cutting you up and molding you to what you have envisioned for yourself. So Thank you guys so much for watching this video. It means so much to me. If you guys have any questions or suggestions, please let me know down in the comments. And if you can please give this video a big thumbs up, I highly appreciate it. And as well, subscribe for more content and just let me know what you guys like to see. All right, thanks guys. Have a great rest of your day.